Getting ready to pull the top cover off my M5OD manual trans. It's a Ford F-150. It's a 92. I already have the carpet and seat pulled out. I got the tunnel cover pulled off. And the problem I'm having is it's been leaking a lot of oil, and to the point where every week or so I'm having to put a whole quart of oil in because it's leaking out all over the ground. And what appears to be leaking here is these plugs right here. There's oil pooled all down in there. That seems to be where it's running down the back of the transmission, dripping off. So what I figured I'd do is I'd make a little video just showing how I'm doing it. So if anybody else in the future has to do the same thing, they get a little bit of insight on how I'm doing it. So first thing I'm going to do is put some degreaser all over this thing and let it soak, and then I'll clean all the crud off the top before I take it off, because I got pieces of gravel and all kinds of crap laying on there. I don't want it to all fall down inside. Alright, I got it all degreased. I started out with dish soap and a scrub brush, and then finished it off with carburetor cleaner. I had a pretty thick layer of crud on there. It didn't do too bad of a job. There's probably much better ways of doing it. But so now I'm going to get the bolts out, which I believe they are 12 millimeter, and then I'm going to get this cover pulled out. Once you get the bolts removed, you just want to make sure it's in neutral, and then you want to disconnect the, I believe that's the reverse switch. Something I did notice when I was pulling this thing apart is this bushing in there seems to be pretty shot. So last night I went on and figured out what the part was and got them on order. But hopefully that'll tighten the stick shift up a little bit. I got a dead blow hammer. Doesn't hurt to kind of give it a few whacks, break it loose a little bit, and then it should come out of there. But I'm going to have to do this with two hands. Alright, I got it out and on the bench. And basically these little plugs, they're so sloppy in there. They're almost fall out by themselves. It's I can almost probably get it out with my fingers. Yeah, they pop right out of there, so it's understandable why I was leaking so much oil everywhere. The plugs that I got are 5/8. This one here seems to fit okay, but I noticed these holes are just like that one's better. I kind of cheated on that one, because what I'm going to do, since these aren't fitting really tight, I took a socket that's just a hair larger than the inside. I just put it in there and I kind of gave it a couple whacks with a hammer, and it splayed it out enough to where it'll have a little bit of snugness going in there. Not that that's real crucial, because the RTV is what's going to be sealing it anyway, but it's always nice to have it to be tight. These caps happen to be Dorman. They are 555011, and I got these for 89 cents a piece. If you buy them in the blister pack, they're like $2.50 a piece. Okay, I've got my caps ready, so I'm gonna clean these holes real good and the surrounding areas really well with I got some carburetor cleaner here. Make sure they're really good and clean, and then I'm going to put RTV around the outside edge of the caps and tap them in there just real lightly so they're flush, and then I'm going to put some RTV around the back and smooth it over to make sure everything's good and sealed up. Got two of the plugs installed. As you can see there, got them to tap in. They went in pretty snug after doing the thing with the socket. And I put a bead of silicone around the outside, and then I just tapped it in. And I'm single-handed here, so I can't show you, but I figure if you're going this far into this, you probably can get that figured out. So I'm going to get this last one put in, and I'm going to double check, make sure I got enough RTV on the inside to keep everything sealed up. Okay, I got the caps back in. Silicone's a nice bead on each side, and everything seems good. Figure since I had this thing open, I might as well take the opportunity to drain the old oil out and put new stuff in, since it's so easy to get to right now. I decided to try some of this stuff. I've used it in other things and it seemed to work pretty good. So I went ahead and dumped that in first, and then I'm going to just use 30 weight synthetic mobile oil. So I've been using 30 weight oil for quite a while now and not had any issues, so I figure might as well try the synthetic stuff so I don't have to mess with it anymore, hopefully. Basically, you just fill it up to, if you can see that drain hole there, you just fill it up till you get to the, just to the bottom of that drain hole there, and then you're all set. And then you just pop the top back on and it should be good to go. Got it all bolted back in. Everything seems to function like it did, except for the, well, it still has the sloppy bushing, but hopefully that'll be here in a couple days. I'll get that fixed. Quite honestly, the most irritating, difficult part of this whole thing was getting the rusted bolts out for the seat and the seat belts, and actually this one I ended up just cutting the carpet because it was kind of like life's too short. But so it actually took less time to fix the transmission than it did to tear all the crap out to get to the transmission. So it's actually a pretty simple job once you get to the transmission. So, you know, I hope this helps somebody out in the future. If you're getting ready to do this, you can give this video a watch and kind of get an idea what you're in for before you get into it.